And that's how I got kicked out of Warhammer World again. Oh, sorry, I'm getting a call. That's embarrassing. Hello? Am I doing what? Monster Bash. You mean that exquisite corpse game where a bunch of really talented artists all draw different elements onto cards and it gets thrown into one big pile and everyone draws a card and you draw 6 of them and then you gotta make a monster based on the cards that you picked up? Oh, that Monster Bash. Okay. Oh, that's happening now. Like right now. Like everyone's in a call right now. Okay. Yeah, Yeah, I'll be there in a minute. Okay, that was Taryn. I gotta go.
Wave hi, everybody.
Wave.
Everybody wave. Hello. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Ooh.
Okay.
I got a tarot card. Oh wait.
I got a Zambies one.
You got it.
Okay, sorry about that. I guess I'm doing Monster Bash and I've got about a month to do it, so I better get going on that. I'm gonna go do that and I'll meet you back here in like a month. Perfect. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. And I am so excited to talk to you guys today about how I turned this into this. So the origin of Monster Bash came from Trent, aka Miscast, coming together with a group of friends and saying, hey, why don't we make some weird fun art together and put them all in a YouTube playlist so we can draw attention to channels that maybe some people haven't seen yet and get eyes on really cool art. It's pretty great, right? It's been so awesome to see how it's evolved over the years and I'm really excited to finally participate in it. Typically October is just too busy of a time of year for me, and honestly it kind of was this year too, but the thing is maybe a sick, twisted part of me sort of likes working under this kind of pressure. I don't know. So like I said, in my definitely real and not scripted phone call with Taryn, we all chose 6 randomly generated art cards that our friends made, and here are mine. Drawing Zambi's Batnose first was awesome. That said to me, vampire, which I know you're like, oh, how original, witty, doing vampires. Just let me have this one, okay? And then I got these eye stalks from PMK Illustration. Very cool, very cool. Oh, feathers from Niche Crafts. All right, that changes things a little bit, but I was thinking maybe harpy, perhaps Baba Yaga-esque. Oh, bird feet from Lo-Fi Workshop. Okay, that fits what we're talking about. Oh, this little sad guy from the Partist. We'll just put that towards the vibe. And, oh, dang, look at this face from Nerdy Goblin Craft. That's definitely a vibe switch. So I decided whatever my beast was, it would have this more beak-like face with the surrounding eyes, and whatever it was preying upon, that's what I would use the eye stalks for. So now I had the idea of where I wanted to take the components, but what about the base? What was my starting point? Well, recently my friend CJ, aka Cedric Jameson, aka Bunny Defender, had gifted me this really cool Gunpla, and I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do with it. He's gotten me into building these guys, and honestly, they're really satisfying. They're a great time, and every kit has so much potential for conversions and for harvesting for bits for your kit bashes. And I've really been into cyberpunk and mechs in general lately, so this just seemed like perfect timing. So I hopped into Twitch and I had a cozy Gunpla building day with the Goblin Gang.
Wait, is this supposed to be on her butt?
It is really satisfying to put something together with 0 chances of gluing your hands together.
How was your afternoon? I drank too much coffee and built Gunpla in a onesie.
Once I had the model built, I was able to see where on her I wanted to augment. I popped off her face accessories, wanting to keep the cat/bat-like ears on display, and decided to turn her helmet visor into part of the mouth. I was being lazy or time efficient if you'd rather, and clipped off some of the horned skulls from the GW box of skulls to use as teeth. I've gotten more use out of that box for kit bashing than any other GW product for sure. I used the KDM bit for her tongue because I also didn't feel like sculpting that. I realized that the eye stalks I'd crafted fit into her hand perfectly, so from there I had this vision of a pile of them at her feet with one triumphantly raised above her head. From there, I grabbed my tiny cabochon pearls. I know there's a lot of different ways to do eyes, but honestly, these are so simple for me. They can also be warts, rivets, anything really. They come in a huge variety of sizes, and I am a big fan of cabochons. They can be a little pricey, but I really do get a lot of use out of them. Plus, it's really fun to say. Cabochon. Oh, and please don't forget to have proper ventilation when you are using super glue. Thank you. For the feather aspect, I decided that wasn't grotesque enough for my cyber harpy vampire that was taking shape. I wanted to use these plastic spiky plants that I got from the Halloween section of Michael's. I filed down the skirt a bit before attaching them, but it was still kind of slippery. For these, I was really inspired by some crew I'd seen where the spikes almost looked infected. If you know what models I'm talking about and who painted them, please comment that down below, because I cannot remember who did those for the life of me. I liked how these plants were layering on the skirt and gave her sort of an elegant look, a skirt and a ruff of infectious feathery organisms. The plastic of these plants are very similar to fake aquatic plants that you can get at the pet store. Those make really great basing and bashing bits too. Honestly, there's a lot of stuff at the pet store, plus you get to look at snakes and hamsters and stuff. I added some of these plants to her feet and wrists as well.
Do I want to do them all the way around, or do I kind of want to just do front and back? Probably all the way around, right?
Clippy clappy, shoppy shoppy. A thing about using Gunpla is there are many points of articulation, which makes it super fun to play with and to pose them, but for a kit bash it can end up becoming kind of a pain in the ass, so you'll want to glue some points still once you've committed to the posing. Glue is also a super simple way to add texture. I love to hit some glue with baking soda and water mix to give it some grunge or rust kind of corrosion. This is a really easy thing to put in the lines where panels of metal are meeting each other. You know, just put a little stank on it. I wanted the base to be simple but to tell a story. For this, I decided to show the rocky planet she was on and display a battle.
So this is Pro Acryl texture paste. This is the Gray Earth, the coarse texture paste. It is edible.
I wasn't sure about the body of the prey, but then I had this moment when playing around on stream.
This looks like a tail. This is gonna be part of the beast. We're gonna pretend that what the beast looked like was just some nasty little thing like this. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Perfect. Once I had her locked into her pose and fitted onto the base, it was time to rough her up a bit. It was time to file in some texture and scratches. Make sure to do this part while standing up so it gets absolutely everywhere in your office. I was ready for one of my favorite parts, prime time. Time to see if we've got something here. And would you look at that? I think we do. I could harp here on what I would have changed or what I would have put more time into, but this is Monster Bash. This isn't about a masterpiece. This is about coming together and making weird art and exposing the world of hobby YouTube to creative and unique channels. After the creators of said channels have overcome some imposter syndrome and perhaps a slight existential crisis while trying to cram and get this project done in 1 month. Good enough is, in fact, good enough. So now that it was time to paint, I decided to keep it pretty true to the original model. That white and pink is just such a fun classic look. I did quickly realize it was a bit too bright for my liking, so I came in with the Null Oil pretty hard. And I thought about nooshing it, but I figured I would just knock all the little spikes off. Those were kind of tricky to keep on. F's in the chat for the entire bottle of Doomfire Magenta that I spilled directly into my wet palette. I came in at the points where the feather spikes met the model and added some sickly infected colors. I wanted it to look like their presence was painful. I started them off in grotesque green, but they looked a little too plant-like, so switched over to the brownish yellow that I eventually went with. Going at this with no sketches, it was a lot of kit bash improv, which drives me insane sometimes, but I also kind of love. I gave her yellow eyes and a green tentacled beast at her feet, but come on, you don't want to hear every little detail about painting, right? I mean, I love to paint, but for me, the thrill is in the bash and it's in the lore, so let's chat about some more while I paint. Okay, so what's her deal? This poor Gunpla had been piloted by a young, adventurous scientist who had been given a grant to utilize a robot for aid in her research about the biome of a newly discovered planet. One day, a freak accident left her pinned in a cave. The smashed visor of her helmet let in hot, damp air filled with things which she did not yet understand. Days turned to weeks, and as rations dwindled, she solemnly acknowledged her fate, wondering if there had ever been any sort of effort at all to rescue her. But she didn't die. She wasn't sure how, but her fatigue was being replaced by something feral, visceral. She wasn't sure if it was delusion setting in, but she found herself growing larger and stronger. Her body began to meld with the machine, and itching, painful spikes began to protrude from her half-metal, half-fleshy skin. Once her transformation was seemingly complete, she was strong enough to push the rocks off of herself. As she steadied herself, she realized her mechanical companion's consciousness had blended into hers, mixed with something else, something hungry. She wasn't afraid. She knew that this was something far greater than any silly little research project would have led her to. She began to run in her powerful new body, searching for something to eat. Oh, and eat she did. Once I loaded her up with some Nurgle's Rot on those infected feathers and gave her a healthy heaping of blood, my cyber harpy vampire was complete. Roll the glamour shots. Thank you, Taryn, for pulling together this ragtag group of artist weirdos, for everyone who made such beautiful art cards, for the Goblin Gang for keeping me company and inspired while working on this project, and of course for the Patreon goblins for keeping the magic going. Getting to do silly, creative stuff like this outside of our comfort zones is what it's all about. Now please, don't forget to go to the Monster Bash playlist and give a follow to everybody who put so much hard work into this project. And then hell, go back and check out the old Monster Bash videos too. I've also included the link to the Monster Bash page on itch right down below, so you can go and you can either watch the video and click and pause and find cards that way like we did, or you can print them all out into a deck. And you know what? You don't have to just use it for Monster Bash. There's a lot of inspiration in there. If you've made it this far to the video, congratulations. This is your prize. I'm Vlad the Impaler now. I fucking love Halloween. And listen, I want you to go make weird art. I want you to make weird art with your friends, and I want you to do it not giving a shit about whether or not it looks cool or you look cool, because you're making something and that alone is magic. Now, I'm gonna go walk my dog dressed like this, and I will catch you in the next one. But in the meantime,
Don't forget that you are currently making the world a better place just by being you. It's like your superpower. So keep doing that. Bye, guys.
you see my fangs?